In this lecture, we are going to study about wave-particle duality, de Broglie hypothesis, and properties of matter waves. This is lecture 5 of Unit 1 Quantum Mechanics. Now, what is this wave-particle duality as explained by de Broglie hypothesis? In 1924, Louis de Broglie extended the wave-particle dualism to all matter particles. If light can act as a wave sometimes and as particles at other times, then matter particles like electrons can also behave as waves. According to this hypothesis, all matter particles in motion possess a wave character also. The wave associated with matter particles is called as matter waves or de Broglie waves. So it is to be understood that radiation has got dualistic behavior, that is particle nature as well as wave nature. Now it is being proposed that not only radiation but all matter particles have got dualistic behavior, that is particle nature as well as wave nature. Now we can see the general formulas associated with the de Broglie wavelength of matter waves. We know that the energy of a photon is given by the expression E is equal to h nu. Nu can be written as c by lambda, or in other words, E is equal to hc by lambda, where c is the velocity of light, lambda is the wavelength of photon, and h is the Planck's constant. We also know that according to Einstein's mass-energy relation, E is equal to mc square, where m is mass of the photon and c is the velocity of light. So equating these two equations, we have mc square is equal to hc by lambda, or lambda is equal to hc by mc square. If c gets cancelled in the numerator and denominator, we get lambda is equal to h by mc, or lambda is equal to h by p, where we have written mc is equal to p, the momentum of the photon. So this is one expression for lambda. Lambda is equal to h by p. And for a photon, p is equal to mc. The reason is photons travel with the velocity of light. Now, de Broglie proposed that, like photons, all matter particles have dualistic behavior. For a matter particle of mass m moving with the velocity v, the wavelength is equal to h by mv. So at this point, we got to understand the formula for the calculation of wavelength for a photon and that of other matter particles. For a photon, lambda is equal to h by mc, because photons travel with the velocity of light. For other matter particles, lambda is equal to h by mv, where v is the velocity of the matter particles. We can also see what are the other formulas for the calculation of lambda. Here we shall calculate the de Broglie wavelength in terms of kinetic energy. The wavelength in terms of kinetic energy is, the general formula for E is equal to half mv square, that is in terms of kinetic energy. Multiply and divide by m, then what do you get? E is equal to m square v square by 2m. Or we know that P is equal to mv, or E is equal to p square by 2m, or P is equal to under root of 2me. When you substitute this value of P in the general equation for lambda, what is the general equation for lambda? Lambda is equal to h by p, or lambda becomes equal to h by under root of 2me. This is the formula to calculate the wavelength lambda in terms of kinetic energy. Next, we can see the de Broglie wavelength for electrons. It should be understood that this formula that we are deriving is applicable only for electrons. So the velocity v is given to an electron by accelerating it through a potential capital V. then the work done on the electron is E into V, where E is the charge of the electron and capital V is the potential difference. And the work done is converted into kinetic energy of an electron. So equating both, EV is equal to half mv square, or the velocity v can be written as under root of 2 EV by m. Multiply both the sides with m. Then what do we get? mv is equal to under root of 2 mev. Once again, go back to the general formula for lambda. Lambda is equal to h by mv. Substitute the value of mv in this equation. Then what do you get? Lambda is equal to h under root of 2 mev. We know that h is a constant, m is a constant, and e is a constant. When you substitute this in the above equation, we arrive at an expression lambda is equal to 12.27 under root of v, where v is the potential difference and the units are in angstroms. So this formula that you see, lambda is equal to 12.27 under root of v and the units being in angstroms, is applicable only for electrons. Next, we can see what are the properties of matter waves. To study the properties of matter waves, we take the general formula lambda is equal to h by mv. From that, we can see that lighter the particle, greater will be the wavelength associated with it. Secondly, smaller the velocity of the particle, greater will be the wavelength associated with it. Thirdly, matter waves are generated by the motion of the particles. For example, in the expression lambda is equal to h by mv, suppose you take v is equal to 0, then what happens? Lambda becomes infinity. In physics, it means that it is indeterministic, that is, we are unable to find a wavelength. Hence, the important conclusion over here is matter waves are generated by the motion of the matter particles. Fourthly, waves are produced whether the particles are charged or uncharged. Next, matter waves are not electromagnetic waves. And lastly, the wavelength of matter waves is not a constant. It depends on the velocity of matter particles. This property comes from the expression lambda is equal to h by mv. H is a constant, m is a constant, v is not a constant. So as v changes, lambda will also change. So in this lecture, what have you studied? We have seen that like radiation, all matter particles have dualistic behavior. That is, particle nature as well as wave nature. We have seen what is the formula for the calculation of lambda. Lambda is equal to h by p. For a photon, lambda is equal to h by mc, and for other matter particles, lambda is equal to h by mv. We have also seen the formula for lambda in terms of kinetic energy, and also seen what is the formula for lambda only for an electron. Lastly, we have also seen what are the various properties of matter waves. So the important conclusion from this lecture is matter particles have got dualistic behavior, that is, particle nature as well as wave nature.